what an 80-year-old legend said when asked if the most beautiful women he'd worked with still cross his mind. He leaned back, flashed that mustache and mischief grin, and said, "That's a trap, but all right." What came next wasn't gossip. It was a love letter to chemistry, the kind you can't fake, the kind you feel before a scene even starts. Not about flirting, but rhythm, timing, trust. The lights and cameras don't make the magic. People do. And for him, 6 names always come back. 6 women who could change the weather on set with a glance, who made good scenes great, and great scenes unforgettable. Now, if you've ever wondered what keeps an actor in love with the work after decades, this is it. Those rare partners who make the air feel different. He didn't brag about awards or premieres. He talked about the laughs between takes, the quiet nods before action, the moments you carry for years. Ready to meet the 6? Let's go, because each of them taught him something different about truth, timing, and joy. Courteney Cox. He can't help laughing before her name is even finished. Jumping into that runaway train of a sitcom, he could have been the awkward guest star, the older guy, the audience protective of Monica, all eyes ready to judge. But she made it feel like he'd been there since day one. She's fast, scary fast. You toss a line, she riffs back like a jazz solo, flips the rhythm, and dares you to keep up. But here's what most people miss: her generosity on camera. In comedy, it's easy to chase the punchline, to steal the moment. She doesn't. She builds the moment. She gives her scene partner room to breathe, to find the truth inside the joke. That storyline could have felt like a gimmick. She played it like a connection. Years later, people still stop him to talk about it, and he'll tell you straight, that was her. She raised the temperature of a scene without saying a word, and he walked away thinking, right, that's how it's done. Catherine Ross, Back to Dust, Spurs, and Sunsets. A Western is all grit and grit again, but she brought poise you couldn't shake. Drop her in a saloon, and she still looked like she could step into a gallery opening without missing a beat, and then hit you with a look that said more than 3 pages of dialogue. The secret? She listens, not waiting for her turn, listening. You feel it when your line lands, and she's already 5 beats ahead, carrying you with her. That's when acting turns into dancing. Quiet humor, unflappable grace, no big gestures, just truth. With her, it wasn't one big scene that stuck. It was all of them. Subtlety as a superpower. Jane Seymour elegance with a capital E and a wink. On that sleek period caper, he showed up thinking, leading man. She strolled in and, with a single look, turned every scene into a chess match where she was 3 moves ahead. That's screen presence. Warmth and intelligence. Charm that could sharpen into danger in a heartbeat. Between takes, she'd have the crew laughing. 5 minutes later, she'd slip back into character like flipping a switch. Total pro. You can't fake chemistry with someone like her. You either have it or you don't. With her, everything clicked. Light, dialogue, connection. Every actor gets a handful of those golden moments in a career. One of his came opposite her. He hasn't forgotten. Raquel Welch. Say the name, and you can almost smell hairspray and film stock. Rooms changed when she walked in. No introductions required. People remember the glamour. He remembers the craft. She knew angles, light, rhythm, when to let you steal a beat and when to take the frame back with absolute command. He once suggested a tweak. She smiled and said, "Sweetheart, I've been doing this a little longer than you." 1 take later, lesson learned. Confidence, not ego. Magnetism, you couldn't resist, even if you tried. Watching her wasn't just thrilling, it was instructional. This is how you carry yourself. This is how you hold a room. When she locked eyes with you in a scene, the world shrank to that moment. That kind of focus doesn't fade from memory. Goldie Hawn. Here's the twist. They never made a film together, and he'll still tell you it's one of Hollywood's great missed chances. Trouble wrapped in sunshine, that's how he puts it. She's got the kind of laugh that turns a Tuesday into a celebration, and the kind of timing that makes comedy look effortless, which is the hardest thing in the world. Mischief and warmth, vulnerability and precision, all in one. He watched her films and thought, that's how you do it. If they'd ever shared a set, he swears the crew would have called it early for too many ruined takes, too much laughter. But beneath the sparkle is something rare. She makes people feel good about being there. That joy is a choice and a gift. You don't forget the artists who change the mood of a room just by showing up. Meryl Streep. This one comes with a hush. He never worked with her either, and maybe that's why the reverence lands harder. He calls her the North Star. You walk into a scene, they say, and you leave someone else. She disappears, the craft hides, and what's left is pure truth. He remembers watching her move through a story with no wasted motion, a whisper louder than a gunshot. That's grace. Plenty of beautiful, talented people fill this business. Then there's Meryl. Every pause feels honest. If the day ever came where she walked onto his set, he jokes he'd forget every line and do it gladly, because some moments you carry forever. She reminds him why he fell in love with acting in the first place. So what do all six have in common? It isn't fame, or even the romances we pretend happened off camera. It's the craft, the generosity, the trust, the courage to let a scene breathe, and the nerve to light it up when the moment calls. Chemistry isn't fireworks for show, it's rhythm. Sometimes it's a raised eyebrow that changes the whole day. Sometimes it's listening so deeply that your partner looks better than you do. Sometimes it's grace under dust and heat. And sometimes it's pure joy, the kind that makes the crew stand a little taller and the work feel like play. Look, you can stack a set with the best cameras in the world. You can pour money on lighting and build the perfect set. If there's no chemistry, you've got nothing but noise. But when it's there, when two people meet in the pocket of a scene and trust each other, you get moments that live rent-free in your head for decades. That's why he remembers them. Every line, every laugh, every look. Not because they were icons, though they were, but because they made the work feel like the reason you start in the first place. Now, if you're still here, let me ask you, which on-screen pairing made you believe in chemistry? The kind that made you lean closer to the TV without realizing it? Drop your pick in the comments. I want to see the scenes that stuck with you. And if this little tour through timing, trust, and truth hit home, tap that like button, share it with a friend who loves great performances, and subscribe for more stories from the sets where the magic actually happens. Because in the end, you don't forget the people who make the air feel different, and if you're lucky, you get to stand next to that kind of magic at least once.